You might have seen Alex Hormozy's video, "You're setting goals wrong." And he's right. He says most people fail because they chase too many things at once. And instead of progress, they just scatter their energy. And again, he's right. And watching his video, I felt like I could add something why it is so hard to actually focus on one goal. So why do we keep piling on side projects, calling ourselves multi-passionate or bailing early when things get tough, even though we know better and we know that clear focus works better? That's what Alex doesn't explain, and that's where I want to dig a little deeper, because if you understand that it's not only you who struggles with this, but everybody, then it's easier to forgive yourself for falling into that trap and move on. I'm Sven Emrich, author of Master Your Lifescript, which is this beautiful book here, and in this video I'll show you the 3 hidden reasons why people can't stick to one goal and how to flip them into fuel. Alex tells you the what. Focus on one goal. That's the strategy. I'll show you the why, the laws underneath that make it so hard to follow through. It comes down to how your inner memoir writer, your so-called autobiographical memory, keeps score with every conflict in your life. Every time you stick to it to resolve it or you quit, it writes a story. And those stories turn into your life and into the script it follows with you as the protagonist. It becomes your identity and it becomes your destiny. Quite big words, so let's break down the 3 laws that explain why you scatter your goals and how to fix it. Here's the first trap. You start a goal, you don't see fast results, and then you think, well, maybe this isn't the right path, I'll try something else. And Alex talked about this. That's an action outcome expectancy mistake, because you expect action and outcome to connect instantly. When they don't, you bail. Because when that's the issue, then you're not the problem, and that's easy to accept. In many cases, though, the real problem is your self-efficacy. That's your competence level, and that may just not be enough yet. Now, your actual competence may differ from your competence perception, which is called the self-efficacy expectancy. So you're feeling much more competent than you really are because that strokes your ego. Now, if your self-efficacy is low, on the other hand, that means that you're not as competent as you think you are, so your solutions are obviously not as valuable to solve conflicts, your own or others, and this lowers your value, and that means it's expressed in your self-worth. So you feel bad and you don't want that. So your inner mental immune system unconsciously makes you misread the whole thing. And it says, well, this just doesn't work, instead of I need more skill and consistency to make it work. That's why people hop from business to business, from diet to diet. And it's not that cause and effect is broken, it's that their self-efficacy is fragile. So your move here is, the next time you're tempted to switch goals, ask, is the cause and effect real? And am I just underestimating the skill curve? If yes, then stay and learn. The second reason you scatter your goals is cognitive dissonance. That's the inner equivalent of a screeching violin in an otherwise beautiful concert hall. You want to get away as quickly as you can. The same happens when you set goals. One clear goal creates pressure. If you fail, there's nowhere to hide. That conflict between I want this and I might fail at this is uncomfortable. Most people solve it and this discomfort by rationalizing. They say, well, I just like variety. Or they say, I'm just wired to juggle things. Or I need multiple projects to stay creative. But that's not the truth. That's self-protection. You're softening the pain of possible failure by creating side exits. You're diversifying your risk, as does any sane investor, but in this case you may be running away from the due diligence you should do with your own abilities. The law here is simple. Dissonance isn't the problem. It's not one that you should avoid. It's a sign you're in the right arena. That tension is the weight that forges your identity. So your move is when you feel the urge to add just another goal, then don't rationalize it. Name the dissonance. I am scared of failing at this one thing. And then lean in. The third reason is the most dangerous one. It's the inner memoir writer itself. Every time you quit early, it writes another loser story, and from things you do over time, you draw abstractions and conclusions to who you are. So if you cook for your friends, say, 1 or 2 times, then they may say that you made it very well. Yeah, you cooked very well. But if you do that 10 times, they will say you are a good chef. The label good moves from the thing you're doing to you as the person who does it. Now, with being a good chef, you probably won't have a problem, but you will get a problem if you think, well, I guess I'm just someone who doesn't stick with things. So because once your memoir stack fills with loser stories, it becomes identity. And that's when you start calling yourself a starter, not a finisher, or worse, lazy. But here's the flip. Every time you hold the line on one goal, even through discomfort, the memoir writer logs a hero story. That stack of wins changes how you see yourself over time, and that identity fuels the next round of motivation. Your move now is to give your memoir writer the right material to write about. Stop scattering. Pick one goal, face the conflict, figure out what you need to learn, how long you will need time to learn it, make that time in your calendar now, and then write a hero story. So yes, Alex Hormozi is right. You should only chase one goal at a time, and the reason it's hard isn't lack of discipline, it's because you misread cause and effect. It's likely not an action outcome problem, but one of self-efficacy, your competence. You secondly rationalize cognitive dissonance to protect your ego, and thirdly, you've stacked loser stories in your memoir until you believe the consequence of all those stories yourself. And then you often need some outside person like me who tells you to stop it. Fix that, and you'll not only stick with one goal, you'll let your memoir writer stack hero stories that fuel your great identity. So here's my challenge for you. What's the one goal you've been scattering away from, and what would it look like if you actually committed to it for the next month? Drop it in the comments. And if you haven't seen Hormozi's original video yet, I've linked it below. Watch it to understand the deeper why behind his advice. And if you want to go further, my book, Master Your Lifescript, is launching soon. There's a waitlist linked in the description, so hop on and you'll get the first updates and bonuses when it drops. Subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into how you win. My friend, see you soon.